All right, so I'm going to run through how I made the Sudoku solver in C++ using Qt and specifically how I used Qt Concurrent as kind of a learning opportunity. So first, let me just show you what this does. So say if I have some arbitrary Sudoku board that I just fill in, I don't actually know one off the top of my head, so I'm just kind of putting in random digits anywhere I know that they won't interfere. What I can do is I can then hit solve and it will recursively solve the Sudoku board to find the first available solution. Now it kind of happens instantly. So I'm just going to undo this. And then I have a slider here that will allow me to show the recursion process and how that works. So I can just go at a pretty slow speed and show the recursion. Now this is why I used Qt Concurrent and multi-threading it, because I wanted to be able to show it while it was still happening and be able to update the GUI while the recursion process is still happening. And I can stop it anytime I'd like. Since we're going at a pretty slow speed, you can see how it is recursively solving the Sudoku board, and it will eventually work towards a solution. This board apparently is taking a little bit of time, so I'm going to stop this. I'm going to undo what it's tried to solve. Let me just move to a little faster here. So let's show this recursion, and you can see what's happening a little faster. See it working through some of the digits, and hopefully it will solve the solution pretty quick here. Well, it is looking like I picked a very hard Sudoku, or at least a long one, to show the recursion process. Let me stop this, undo whatever has happened, and just go as fast as I can, because the eventual solution is this. Well, I think you'd get the idea. This would eventually solve. So I'm just going to stop this and we'll run through the code real quick here. So I made this all in C++ in Visual Studio. I used a existing recursion solver that I found online, and then just modified it to use Qt. So this is the kind of main GUI, and here we're setting up the UI, and I have all of the events that are happening. So on clear, it's clearing this grid array, which is having the Sudoku grid inside of it. Then on slow solve, that is when the recursion is being shown. What's happening is it's filling in the grid, or it's first emptying the grid, and then checking, making sure everything is correct, and that I haven't input 37 or something in one of the boxes. And then it's going to gray out the cells that are already filled in. It then starts connecting some of the things. So it connects the onStopped event here, which is when the stopped recursion is clicked, and connects that to another class where I have a function for stop. Then it connects this solving thread to a new item where this class will display the single item, and the solve class emits this new item, which is what happens whenever it tries a new item in that. And then here I run I have a function in this solve class called start, and this gets passed into it, this being the object, and then it also passes in the value of the start, or of the speed here, as well as the grid. And then I just have an on solve clicked here, which solves it quicker, and everything comes down to right here where it actually solves it. I have a few outputs for QDebug. Those aren't really needed, but they're there just in case I need to look at something. And then I have an undo, a display grid, a gray cells, and then this is the what happens, what gets called from the thread to emit and display on the GUI. And then this is all just the code that I found online for recursively solving. So let's go into the solve class. So in here, I have basically the same kind of solve stuff, but it emits every time it gets into a new thing, it emits this new item, row, column, and number, which then gets passed back into the Sudoku class to then display it. This is what gets started whenever whenever I click the solve show recursion, and it then calls the solve Sudoku. And once it's solved, the output's solved. And this is what gets called whenever I click stop recursion from the Sudoku class, and it just changes this variable to true, which then stops up here if it's true. So that's basically the gist of it. And then I have a UI that I made, pretty basic, nothing really laid out well, just very basic. And I'll have this code on GitHub linked in the description of this video as well. If you want to check it out, you will have to have QT6 installed on your computer, but I will have in that GitHub a zip folder so that you can unzip that folder and run the project without having to have all of the dependencies installed and stuff like that. So thanks.